Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Vi's podcast. We're here for episode 3. We don't actually have a lot to talk about today, but as always, I'm joined by my two not so lovely co hosts, Zoth and the lovely
How dare you?
Sophia.
How dare you?
Go fuck yourself, Zoth.
No.
Um,
Uh,
we were hoping we'd have our third host tonight, but um, they're dog sitting, so.
Mm-hmm.
But
They're indisposed.
yeah, this week we're actually going to be talking about the random shit that comes to mind. Really,
Uh, mm.
we're probably going to be mostly talking about like video games.
Video game.
Um, I know I titled this episode "Vi Talks Too Much" because we actually got a piece of feedback that they wanted to hear that the person watching wanted to hear more from Zoth and Soph, and then I brought it up with everybody, and they were like, "Yeah, Vi, you talk too much."
I mean, I never said anything about that. I just
I
usually.
didn't say it either.
Lee said it.
Yes.
Yeah, Lee said it.
Lee's the one who said it. I just said, I'll work on talking more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Oh God, we're only a minute in, and I'm already like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck.
I
Where
usually
do we
just don't
go
have
from here?
very much to say.
Um. Well, you're gonna have to get better at that shit, Zoth.
Yeah.
Step it up, Zoth. Come on.
Eh.
We could also just call Zoth out right now for the fact that we've been waiting 8 months for him to finally start D&D.
Hey, I've been dealing with a lot of shit lately.
Well, yeah, over the past week, but not really the past 8 months.
I know, but I mean, fuck. Okay, I'm at the point in prep where all I need is a fucking one shot to run and to fucking familiarize myself with a fucking uh virtual tabletop.
Yeah,
That's
but you're not gonna
literally it.
really get to familiarize yourself until we start.
What do you mean? You want me to just go in and blind like, oh, how do I do this thing, and then fucking put hold on the game for 5 minutes while I figure out how to do a simple function?
Well, but that's part kind of like you realize there's going to be a lot of holes in the game anyway because we're going to be teaching new players how to play.
I know, but still, I want to like have the tabletop part of it to be as locked in as possible. I don't want to just be fumbling around with a program that I don't understand, and the rest of the players probably don't understand either.
Yeah. It's been
Mm-hmm.
so long I've had the like ability to change characters like 4 times.
Well, I blame that on you for just being all fucking wishy-washy with
I'm
what kind
not
of character.
wishy-washy. It's just like it's been so long that by time I have a character that I'm interested in, I then get another character archetype I'm interested in because if you remember the Vega that we've got now isn't even the first version of Vega.
It was is a shark person,
No, Vega was a barbarian originally.
right? And then they went to a warlock, and then they went to a blood hunter barbarian.
No, it was Blood Hunter Warlock. Barbarian's not even in the equation now.
Right.
But then I switched characters over to my Monk Fighter.
Monk fighter. And then you came up
Monk.
with a barbarian gunslinger.
Yeah, and that's a cool ass concept.
It is.
It's not, again, I don't think it's my fault that literally it's been so long that I've been able to change character concepts 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
That shit just happens in D&D. You make a character and then you're like, ooh, look, I can make another character.
Uh-huh.
What were you saying, Soph? I think we cut you off by accident.
No, I actually didn't really say anything outside of like monk.
Gotcha.
Monk.
Ow. Or codeine. I need
But
water. Fuck.
to be fair, I've been pretty settled in what I'm doing now.
Yeah, you're sticking with
Mm-hmm.
it. That you essentially have two characters that you're going to play.
Well, yes, but I'm not going to be playing the second one until after Curse of Strahd.
Yeah, I know.
Because you said there's not really a point in Curse of Strahd where it would be accessible to, like, switch out.
No, it wouldn't be. The setting does not lend itself to that.
Yeah, so I've already got my Barbarian all specced out to level 10 when everybody would be, after our party would be exiting Curse of Strahd.
Nice.
Um, but,
Bada booyah. But yeah, all I need is a virtual tabletop that I can learn, feel comfortable using, and fucking learn how to use.
yeah, because I was gonna say, as for the one shot, doesn't Curse of Strahd have a introductory one shot?
Pretty much, yeah. It's like supposed to be the thing that's like meant to get characters up from level 1 to level 3, but I'll just be starting y'all at level 3 anyways, so
Yeah. I don't know. I think my Barbarian character is gonna be pretty cool.
just
Yeah.
pretty much just Junker Queen.
It started out that way, but she's become her own thing.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Just like how Mad Snake started out as Majima and became her own thing. Like, even my backstory is vastly different from what Majima is.
Majima.
Well, okay, to be fair, it's not that different. I kind of just repurposed Yakuza 0, but shut up.
They were contracted to put a hit out and they failed miserably and fell in love with the hit.
They didn't fall in love with... Actually, they weren't... There was no hit.
Yeah. But they were the leader. They were the owner and proprietor of a cabaret.
No, you know what? They're... Well, I mean, she still technically owns... No, she doesn't own it. She's just still technically the manager of the cabaret club.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Nothing. You're funny.
So, okay, there was the hit, but, like, she didn't follow through with it. But she didn't fall in love with the character like Majima did. It's bullshit. It did not happen. It's not true. It's bullshit. Oh, hi, Mark.
Not hit her. Not true.
Because I think, fucking... My Barbarian has... What's it called? The... Fuck. I can't think of the name. It's, the Chaos Barbarian.
Oh, right. You're doing the critical role, barbarian thing. Path of Elemental Chaos?
I think it's Fundamental Chaos.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. I think, yeah, it's like Path of the Fundamental Chaos. Path of... Let me look.
Path of Fundamental.
Yeah.
Shit.
I think...
What do you?
I don't think. You know I don't think.
It certainly feels that way sometimes.
Fuck off!
I was also
Now the
talking
question
about
is-
myself.
Oh.
Does Vi is think?
Does Bruno Mars
Does
is
Vi...
gay?
Is Bruno Mars is gay?
No, it's does Bruno Mars is gay.
Is it?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Does Bruno Mars is gay?
Does Bruno Mars?
The rumor come out.
Does Violet Succubabe is think?
No. The answer is no.
Is Fink.
What?
I'm just watching other shit in the background. Don't mind me.
How dare you?
I know, how dare I.
How dare?
How dare you not give me all of your focus?
On this podcast where we have nothing to talk about.
Shut up.
I suppose the thing we could talk about is the update to the Helena Taylor situation.
Yeah, no, so there is a slight update to the Helena Taylor situation.
I wouldn't say slight.
I would say slight because it's nothing that we already didn't know from the Bloomberg post.
Yeah.
It's just Helena Taylor has essentially Helena Taylor has confirmed that she's a liar.
Yeah, she's like admitted to like omitting important details
Mm-hmm.
and like is contradicting herself in like between the video thread she posted and the most recent Twitter thread she posted, where like
Yes.
she said like, "Oh, they offered me $10,000," and she never once said that in the fucking video thing. She said that they offered her $4,000 flat rate for the entirety.
The whole role.
Yeah, which that 4,000 was only for a cameo.
Yeah.
Which was offered after she had
She had
declined
already-
the
yeah.
role.
Yeah.
Which, mind you, was after they had said, "Okay, we'll give you a raise from like 10,000 to 15,000 for the
Yeah.
whole role."
Mhm.
which is decent. It's not amazing. Like, and of course there's a debate where like, should she have been offered more for like the amount of work she was doing and for the game she was playing or working for? There's certainly an argument to be had for that. I
Yeah.
think that maybe they could have done with like giving her like $20,000. I feel like that might have been fair.
Yeah.
Because it's like $20,000 for essentially was like what 50 hours of voice work over the course of like 3 days, 4 days.
I think it was like 4-hour sessions, each of like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah,
I think it was each session was like 4 to 5 hours, right? Is what
yeah,
the Bloomberg post supposedly claimed.
yeah,
But okay,
Yeah.
so Helena Taylor said she was offered $10,000 in total, which she claimed that offer was too low, and she keeps throwing around this number for $450 million franchise, but nowhere there's no information claiming that it's a $450 million franchise. She wrote to Hideki Kamiya asking for what she was worth, and Hideki Kamiya said that he loved her work so much that he'd offer her an extra $5,000. Mind you, that's 50% of what the original offer was. So that's a 50% increase, and by no means does that feel insulting. Like, it's like, oh shit, you know, I do appreciate your work, and I do think you're worth more. I will now pay you 150% of what the original offer was.
Mm-hmm.
So then she said no. She said she declined to voice the game. And then she claims that she didn't hear anything back for almost a year. Then they said that they would pay her $4,000 for a few voice lines, which ultimately means a cameo.
Yes.
She would voice the character for maybe an hour of work. Not even the character. She would voice a character.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think at this point they probably already had Jennifer Hale locked down because they were like, oh shit, the voice of Bayonetta just walked on us.
Yeah.
And then she claims that the $4,000 per session for 5 sessions are fabrications. She claims there weren't many negotiations. She also kind of gives a Freudian slip and says that she asked for $250,000, which nobody has, at least from what I've seen, nobody has claimed $250,000. What is being claimed is that she was asked for 6 figures.
Yeah, that she asked for a 6-figure salary.
So she kind of pulled this $250,000 sum out of her ass.
Mm-hmm.
She also claims that she couldn't talk about Bayonetta 3 because of her NDA, which she's already broken at this point. But she also claims that she was the only one keeping interest in the game for almost 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
right. My phone scream. Oh my.
So yeah, the internet has pretty much just stated that, like, oh shit, yeah, you're a liar.
You lied to me. You didn't do it.
But yeah, so Helena Taylor, in my opinion, that's not a big update. She just continued to prove that she's a liar and kind of a scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
oh, I just saw an article from TMZ saying Jerry Lee Lewis is not dead as we previously reported.
Who the fuck's Jerry Lee Lewis?
Some singer, but the point is that TMZ is so like, I've got to be the first, that they like if falsely reported on somebody's death.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we all know how hungry they are to be the first on anything.
Yeah.
I don't really know anything about TMZ. I hate fucking tabloid shit.
Oh no, I don't think anybody's
Honestly,
saying like, oh, I like
yeah.
tabloids. It's just the point to be made with talking about TMZ is that the tabloids are so bad that they'll falsely report somebody's dead and stir up all this drama.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I remember, like, TMZ from, like, vividly was with the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing.
Yeah.
Where it was like Amber Heard supposedly contacted them directly. Even though it actually does really look like that.
Mm-hmm.
It just, there's no official hard evidence to say it was Amber Heard, but it definitely looks like it was.
Yeah. I think because again, I'm just like kind of clicking on articles I see and in hopes that I'll find something to talk about. Because there's nothing newsworthy this week. Everything happened last week, and now we're kind of just like having to make up for it this week because we talked about literally everything last week.
Yeah.
I know I did save one other sort of like ongoing news thing, which involves a specific power pin that is with NVIDIA cards, like the
the
RTX
4090 thing that we were talking about.
Yeah, it's that 16-pin. I'm gonna call it the 12V HPWR. I guess you can call it the 12V high power. I don't know what's the actual name to say it.
I would just say the pin for the power pin for the graphics cards.
I'm just gonna say it's the 16 pin then.
Yeah.
That thing is apparently been at times very poorly designed because it's been making the graphics cards overheat, possibly catch on fire, and actually melt its own pins.
Yeah. This is only an issue that exists in the 40 series, right?
So far only the 4090, since that's the only one of the card of that series that's out.
Right.
And this one is it is actually brand agnostic because it's happened. I've seen on it's on MSI and Asus cards. Gigabyte. I haven't seen the MSI ones. I should correct, but I know it's happened on Asus as well as Gigabyte, and it's that cords that pin specifically.
Yeah.
It's like you can't bend it horizontally. You can't bend it vertically, and if you are gonna bend it, you have to have the bend be 35 millimeters away from the end of the plug in order for it to be a safe bend. And this card is already massive. It is a massive brick of a card. To where most cases probably won't even be able to accommodate such a bend in the first place.
Yeah.
The only case I think that I've heard that would be able to is like a full ATX case.
Oh, I actually saw, talking about the Bayonetta thing, there's a little bit of drama surrounding if... So, there's this person online claiming that straight people can't like Bayonetta.
What?
Yeah. So,
What?
apparently, straight men are not allowed to like Bayonetta. At least not sexually. Because apparently Bayonetta is so gay coded that you can't like Bayonetta.
What the fuck?
Fucking Twitter bastards. Fucking just gatekeeping fictional characters. Fucking gatekeeping people's fucking sexual attraction to fictional things.
So apparently it started because this person claimed that Bayonetta is pandering to quote unquote alphabet people. And then they were like, what exactly about Bayonetta signals that it's for straight people? Somebody said we had years where Bayonetta was one of the prime examples of being bad because it was pandering to the male gaze. And then it kind of goes back to Gamergate, where Anita Sarkeesian claimed everything was for the male gaze.
Anita Sarkeesian.
Good lord.
Anita Sarkeesian in here.
It's like, yes, clearly all the hot women are solely there just for the men. And it's not like everybody can appreciate them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a fair argument for sometimes there's a point where you can take sexualization a little too far, but I don't think that necessarily fits in with the whole male gaze thing.
Well, so I don't understand what straight man wouldn't like seeing a very beautiful, powerful woman just kick ass, you know, with like all kind of sexualized camera angles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of bottom coded to be into you know, it's a little bottom coded to like Bayonetta, but it's not like gay coded. I mean, The camera angles and the way that she carries herself are a little, and they are supposed to be this way, where they're framed almost like a drag queen would be framed. So I mean, it is gay coded, like whatever the fuck that means, you know. Um, it literally doesn't make any fucking sense. Um, considering the same group of people are like, of course, straight men are giving Bayonetta great scores. The game's made explicitly for straight people, so it's just fucking baffling to me how many contradicting opinions about Bayonetta they'll have just to shit on the game and be like, oh, it's specifically for straight people. Oh no, how could a straight man like this? You can't like Bayonetta if you're straight because you aren't attracted to Bayonetta if you're straight. Like, listen to the audio they play over it. Fucking, how can a straight man be attracted to this?
Like, I don't know, maybe a straight man just likes watching a hot woman kick ass.
Dude, I like watching hot women kick ass.
You like it when a hot woman kicks your ass.
Shut up.
Like Tifa. Remember that one time you were playing Kingdom Hearts 2 and Tifa kicked the thing and you're like, oh, fucking beat me.
Shut up.
Oh, fucking beat me, mommy.
I guess we could talk about how Kingdom Hearts is bullshit.
That we could.
I don't understand how that series fucking manages to be how it is. Because the first game was like this cute game about like friendship, and it was like, oh yeah, there's no way this will get more convoluted. Boy, how wrong I was.
20 years later, it's even more convoluted than ever.
It's like the first game I was like, okay, I'm a little confused. There's no way it can get worse, right? Right?
Right.
Oh, one of my favorite things, talking about the first game, is how old it makes everybody around me feel when I'm like, oh yes, I was born 3 weeks before the first Kingdom Hearts game came out. And then everybody that I work with is just like, oh man, I was in middle school. And I'm like, yep, I was 3 weeks old.
3 weeks old. Little babby.
And then Chain of Memories, you start Chain of Memories and you're like, okay, cool, like this is gonna have this whole thing about like, it's a card game essentially and it continues the first game's story, but then it's just like, hello, yes, we're nobodies, this is Namine.
Namine.
Fucking
Who is
everything
everything
is going downhill from here in terms of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And it only gets worse.
Yep.
Because the next game that came out was Kingdom Hearts games in release order. Because that's the way you're supposed to play them.
Yeah, there was Kingdom Hearts, then there's Chain of Memories, then there was Kingdom Hearts 2, then 358 over 2. But 358 over 2 takes place before Kingdom Hearts 2, so it makes sense to play that before 2. And after 2 was...
Hang on. Yeah, so Chain of
Coded.
Memories... Although, to be fair, Chain of Memories came out 2 years after Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. But you're still supposed to play that one first because the original Chain of Memories came out in 2004. But I feel almost like the Game Boy Advanced version of that game would be the better way to play it. Because from the looks of it, the gameplay style fits more with the side-scrolling pixel art kind of thing. As opposed to how it is in Re.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're supposed to play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. And that game is my favorite, but is still a mess. Like, the story is such a fucking mess, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand.
Yeah, and then
I don't understand.
Yeah.
yeah, so then it's Chain Memories, then Kingdom Hearts 2 release, then 358 over 2 days released on the DS.
Yeah.
But that takes place between Chain
Well,
Memories
Coded
and
apparently came out first.
before 358 over 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because, so Coded was on the Nokia originally in 2008.
ugh. This is another thing. Fucking Nomura and the way he develops games is like, he just fucking releases mainline games on the most random fucking shit. Like, if he could, he'd fucking release a mainline game on a fucking fridge. If he could.
Yeah. Well, so I think he just has these ideas, and like the thing is probably with the Nokia, like they were probably required to release some kind of Kingdom Hearts content on the Nokia. Like I guarantee there's a whole like chain of command thing when it comes to we're gonna release this game on this, because ultimately they want Kingdom Hearts to be like accessible, right? So they probably released like fucking Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance because they were like, oh yeah, we want to have like a mobile Kingdom Hearts game. And I think I don't know what year the PSP released, but I think the reason it released on Game Boy Advance first was because that was what was out at the time, and that was like the mobile platform that everybody had, you know?
Uh-huh. Let's see.
Or well, the
when-
handheld, not the
Yeah,
mobile.
let's see. When did PSP release? Japan, December 2004. North America,
Oh, well, never mind.
March 2005.
Well, then I don't fucking know. To be
Shit be whack, yo.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we all know that Nomura, his writing is bullshit.
Yep.
And the fact that you have to fucking play all of these ports and shit to understand the full story is so whack. Like, yeah, Coded eventually came out on, like, the DS, but that's such... To be fair, in my opinion, I feel like you could skip over fucking Coded and miss nothing.
I mean, it does have some plot stuff that's significant for 3,
Well,
at
isn't its
least.
whole purpose to exist? Oh yeah, because it came out when they were setting up everything for 3.
Yeah. That's why Dream Drop Distance also exists.
Well, yeah. No, I know Dream Drop Distance, Union X, or well, I guess it's Union
Union
Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fan,
Kingdom.
it's called Cross.
Yeah. Well, so Kingdom Hearts Cross back cover, which, by the way, apparently incorporates stuff from Kingdom Hearts Cross and Kingdom Hearts Union Cross.
Hmm.
Because in 2013, there was an internet browser game called Kingdom Hearts Cross.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, to be fair, doesn't Coded just exist to explain why the journal says thank Namine, which they already explained in the earlier games? Because from what I took away from that, it was like, it opens up and they're like, why does it say thank Namine? And then, like, they want to piece together the pics of, or the parts of Jiminy's journal back together. And then it turns out Jiminy's journal has a bunch of, like, data bugs in it, because that makes sense.
I
A
think the
physical
reason why
book has bugs in it.
let's say, oh no, it's when they digitize his journal.
Well,
But I
no,
think
those bugs existed in the journal itself.
No, I thought the whole point is that they were trying to digitize the journal to try to go back and look through it, fucking a la Gandalf with his fucking Palantir thing,
No,
and
they
try to go back and look for details that they might have missed. And when we digitized it, we found it was full of bugs, and that's because when Naminé was messing with fucking Sora's memories, it fucking jumbled shit up, leading to the bugs in the digital copy.
I think yes and no. I think because the thing is, they weren't like trying to scrub it for like details they missed. They were trying, I believe they were trying to digitize it because they were trying to get it back into the state before it just said thank nomine. And they were also trying to figure out why it says thank nomine, which they already learn in 2. But for some reason, they're like, okay, well, we've got to digitize it because that makes sense. But the journal itself had a lot of bugs because it just did. Because I'm pretty sure the whole reason it had bugs is because of, like, Sora's memories getting jumbled, like you said. But also, the whole, like, the whole reason they were trying to digitize it is because they were trying to find the journal's memories in its weird heart thing that they claim it has. Because they think if they digitize it, they can rewrite the journal by using its memories.
Hmm.
So they're trying to, like, skim through its memories to get it back in a working condition. But, like, what? And then they have Data Sora, and Data Sora, like, goes through it and tries to help. But then there's, like, some kind of Data version of Maleficent and Pete. Or is it the actual Maleficent and Pete? I don't remember.
I think it's the actual Maleficent. I'm not sure if it's the actual.
But, like, I don't understand. How did they get there?
Uh, I don't know.
I don't know. How did they get there? What are they doing? And then, like, you have the Data Riku that, like, helps out because, like, apparently Data Riku is just the journal.
Yeah, it's just Jiminy's journal that for some reason
Is
takes the form of
Riku.
Riku.
And there's this moment where they're like, Riku, what are you doing here? And he's like, I don't know. I'm the journal, not Riku. And it's like, okay, I believe you.
Okay, I believe you.
Okay, I believe you.
And then Data Sora goes through the events of the first game, but not because it's so jumbled that it's like the same game but different.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like, really, like, I only went through the cutscene version, which I feel like misses a lot of the context. And apparently, I was talking to my coworker who also loves Kingdom Hearts, and he was like, yeah, no, the cutscene version, like, makes no sense. Because a lot of the plot in that game takes place in the Disney worlds, which they conveniently skip over in the cutscene movie.
Well, most of the time Disney Worlds don't fucking matter.
But they do encoded.
Some godforsaken reason.
And, like,
I'm
all of the plot for Coded takes place in the Disney worlds, so you don't get the plot in the all-in-one package. So then you're like, man, this is pointless.
Mm.
I felt like the only thing that mattered was when Data Sora confronts Data Roxas.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand what was going on with that either. Because Data Sora doesn't even really exist. So then, like, the thing with Data Roxas just also doesn't matter.
Kind of, yeah. I think the only thing of significance that came out of that game was that they found out that Maleficent can time travel. I think that's literally pretty much it.
So I don't like Coded. Coded is my least. Apparently, the DS game is pretty good, but the actual like story is shit.
Mm. Just wait till you get to the fucking climax of Dream Drop Distance.
Oh God.
You're gonna have fun.
But like Birth by Sleep was really good.
Yeah, Birth by Sleep's nice. I will say it's a little confusing having to like play the game three
Three
different ways.
times. And then to understand what happened when, you kind of have to do that after game thing where it just tells you.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I mean, like, because, like, you can piece it together on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Because the order to play it is just how they present it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Terra, Ven, Aqua.
Yeah.
So it didn't get confusing where it's like, nope, you gotta play Ven first, and then go back to Terra, and then go back to Aqua.
Oh yeah, like the fucking drop system.
Well, the drop system I feel like is really just for a gameplay purpose. Like the story doesn't make like it doesn't really make it more or less confusing, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, it does if you don't do it in the like order for that world that they want you to, but they also I feel like they present it in a way that like made it so it was like inconsequential what order you play it in. Because Joshua basically explains like if you don't do it in the order that you're technically supposed to, it's just because like time in this like the two different worlds that you're in with the drop system just works differently. Which, to be fair, is very much just making it convenient. But essentially, it's like, oh yeah, no, if you do one thing first, it's like, oh yeah, no, it'll just happen in the point in time that it's supposed to happen for the other character. So, I don't know.
who knows?
So, yeah, I'm only on Dream Drop Distance, but all of the games I've played so far, the gameplay, other than Chain of Memories, is really good. You kind of just have to put your suspension of disbelief and just throw it out the window whenever you're listening to the story.
Mm.
You kind of just have to accept whatever comes at you.
Yeah.
Like, instead of focusing on, like, what's a retcon, what is actually, like, originally supposed to happen, I feel like you just have to shove all those feelings into a ball and throw them out the window and just take it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like for a game that's that long running, it was kind of just bound to happen.
I mean, I feel like Gamora could have like, I don't know, because it felt for me that ever since like 2, he was just writing this shit up as he went.
But that's like every story.
No, not necessarily.
Well, yes, no, it is. Like, say
Kind
somebody's
of.
writing a book series, they write the first one, and then they write the second one, and then they write the third one,
Well, the idea.
and then they write the fourth one.
Well,
It's like if they continuously plan out how the story is going to go from the beginning, they probably could have just condensed it down into one book.
well, that's books. Games are different. And generally, like for books, even like the author, like they have a starting point, and they have a point where they want to get to the end, and they want little certain beats to happen along the way to get to that end. But they still have an end in mind. Whereas Nomura, I don't think he had an end in mind until like Birth by Sleep.
I still don't think he does. I think Kingdom Hearts is just going to go on forever.
Eh, maybe.
Because I know they say that the end of the Dark Seeker saga is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
But you know Xehanort's gonna come back in 4. He's gonna be like, I never really died. Keyblade.
Yeah, you'll see. You will see.
Fucking, I think Kingdom Hearts 4 is gonna throw some wrench into the thing, and in my opinion, you just have to take it for what it is. Like, to be fair, there are some things where it's like, oh, they really whiffed the ball on that, but then it's like, if you look at it in a more
With the
hindsight
ball?
kind of way, huh?
With the ball?
Yeah, like drop the ball, they whiff.
No, I've never heard those two terms like put
Fuck
together.
off!
With the ball.
Shut up!
So it's like a wiffle ball.
I hate you.
Yeah.
Um, but no, my point is that there's some things that like if you're like, oh, they whiffed with that story point, but you look at it in hindsight, you're like, oh shit, okay, they never really explicitly state what I thought. I just kind of implied it or inferred it, not implied. Because with the whole like nobody's thing, they never outright confirm that they don't have hearts. They just kind of are like, oh yeah, we don't think we have hearts. But I feel like all of the evidence, even from the first time they're like shown, you're like, oh, these motherfuckers got hearts.
Well, they certainly act like they have hearts.
Well, yeah. But like the point I'm in Dream Drop Distance, they basically say that they have hearts without just saying, yes, we have hearts.
I want to say I'm pretty sure the only nobodies that actually get a heart, because I do think that yes, they don't have hearts.
Well,
But like
they
but you can get a heart by like forming bonds of friendship with other beings,
well then
i.e.,
wouldn't
Axel, Roxas, and Shion. They're like
like
the only ones that have hearts.
but they kind of like state in other Kingdom Hearts games that having a heart is just having ideals and having goals that you're fighting for. Because a heart in Kingdom Hearts is essentially just akin to having a soul.
Sort of. It's sort of like your emotional soul.
Well, yes. But, like, I'm pretty sure they just outright... Like, they don't outright say... No, nobodies don't have hearts.
Oh no, they say it all the time.
Well,
In
they
two.
do because they don't believe that they have hearts.
Well,
But
no, even like fucking
literally the point
Yensid.
I'm at in... Well, Yensid doesn't really understand... Like, the only really way to understand what a nobody is to be a nobody.
I guess. Well, and also Ansem the Wise says it too. But I guess
Yes,
even
but
like
that's
towards
from
the
the
end, he was like,
thing
"Oh,
that they've studied. Because you
yeah,
become a nobody by becoming a heartless, i.e., you do not have... Your heart has been separated from your body, so then the husk that emerges is a nobody. But clearly they don't have enough information to understand if nobodies can get hearts, or if they have hearts. Because basically, from the last two worlds we did, Zemnis was just like, I don't know, do nobodies not have hearts? I won't tell you.
Well, that's just Zemnis being all meh, 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 meh.
Well, yes, but he's playing all coy because he's like, oh yeah, Pinocchio can get a heart, and he's basically a nobody, but aren't they different? And then Sora's like, yeah, they're different, and it's like, well, you don't know that. You don't know if it's different circumstances. Like, to be fair, the whole thing of like, well, they're different is just Sora kind of being essentially Kingdom Hearts' version of a bigot. Wasn't the explanation that one whose heart was taken but has a strong will becomes a nobody?
Well,
Yes.
specifically, nobody that looks like you.
A
Otherwise, you just
nobody
become like
that...
a dust.
Yeah, a smart nobody. Because, yeah, they basically say in 2, if you're just kind of a pussy,
Like a
you just
normal
become a
schlub.
dusk. And then... But I'm pretty sure Started your podcast, I see. Pog Pog. Yeah, I started my podcast. We're trying to
Yes.
understand Kingdom Hearts. But no, I'm pretty sure from what I've seen in Dream Drop Distance, Xemnas is playing all coy, but the point of what he's saying is that nobody's have hearts. He just, if you ask me, I think Xemnas is playing them all for fools to get his end game.
I say you will see in in fucking the game.
Oh, I know I'll see, but my takeaway currently
Uh-huh.
is that Mansex is like, yes, you don't have hearts. Do what I want, so you'll get a heart. Because essentially he's stringing them along to become somebodies again, but as we see, after Sora beat everybody in Kingdom Hearts 2, they're kind of coming back to their somebodies. Even though their somebodies technically isn't even the official term.
No, it is.
No, it isn't.
I'm pretty sure it is,
Nope.
isn't it?
So, in the game, in Kingdom Hearts 2, they say somebody with a lowercase s, but they say nobodies with a capital N. And then, at the end, Roxas calls Sora his other, not his somebody.
Gotcha.
It's just, they don't believe that they have hearts, so they're using the term I'm not somebody to just be like, yeah, I'm a nobody. Because I was watching this whole video, and Nomura straight up says that somebody is not the official term.
Well, if Nomura said it.
It's just, they use the word somebody as a plot device. Because I think the first time the word somebody comes up is like when Roxas is all depressed and he's like, well, I'm not a somebody, I'm a nobody. And then in 358, Axel is like, well, we aren't somebody, we're nobody. So we don't have a heart. So it's just them being all depresso because they want to have a heart. They don't think they have a heart. But, like, I'm pretty sure Sora even says that Axel definitely has a heart from how much he cares about Roxas. And, like, I remember the entire time playing just being, like, sitting there like, you don't have a heart. You definitely don't have a heart. But then I think I also heard that, like, to go back to being your somebody, which is what I'm gonna call it, because I just feel like it sounds nicer.
Yeah.
To go back to being your somebody, the nobody and the heartless both have to be killed.
Yeah, like your nobody and your heartless have to be destroyed. I think specifically by someone with a keyblade.
I don't know. I don't think they have really specified.
Maybe that's something that comes later. I can't remember.
But
pretty sure it being a keyblade is significant.
Well, I also found out that Sora isn't even special.
Nope, not at all. He's not special in the least.
Yep. And actually, Riku is the special one.
Yeah, because I was trying to tell you the other day that, like, yeah, the fucking Keyblade that Sora got wasn't even supposed to be his, and you were like, no, it was his. It has to be his.
Well, because it doesn't make sense, because Riku gets a Keyblade anyway, and that one that he gets is supposed to be Terra's. They say that in Birth by Sleep. And then it's like, oh yes, you'll get a Keyblade one day because I'm granting it to you. And then the whole thing that they imply at the end of Birth by Sleep is that Ventus's heart entering Sora is why Sora gets a Keyblade. But then Nomura straight up was like, nah.
No, that's not how it works.
So, like, what?
Yep. Yeah, fucking Sora's only able to use the Keyblade because the Keyblade lets them.
Well, ain't that a kick in the nuts?
And then Nomura is like, oh yes, we showed you that in the first game. And it's like, but then you showed us the opposite in the other games.
Oh, Nomura. You cheeky little bastard.
And then what was the other thing we talked about? How, like, everybody is a Xehanort?
Oh, that's stuff that you'll find out about in Dream Drop Distance. I don't want to talk about that too much.
Okay. Sora is special, but there's a 3 spoiler, and even the reason for that is probably not going to be explained till later games. Oh boy.
Yeah, there's a.
There's a thing, but we
God,
can't talk
it's so
about it because it'll be
stupid.
spoilers for
And also
me.
because it's fucking stupid.
I can't wait to
It's
find out.
It's so poorly executed that it's just like, why the fuck even bother?
Okay, well, so what? How about we leave this conversation here so we don't end
Yes.
up spoiling shit for
Yes.
myself?
Yes.
And then after I finish 3, we can do a follow up on whatever podcast it is. In
Whatever
like,
the hell fucking be.
like in a few months' time, we can discuss the rest of Kingdom Hearts.
Well, I mean, you're pretty close to beating Dream Drop Distance at this point, and then
Oh yeah,
Birth
no, I
by
could
Sleep
probably finish that.
2.
I could probably finish that tonight if I want to.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
I
And
might
then
finish it tomorrow. I don't know.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
0.2 Birth by Sleep is very short. It's like 4 hours.
Okay, but then we
That's
have to watch the Union Cross cutscenes,
Yeah.
or maybe I could
Yeah.
just watch like a summary on them.
Yeah, you could probably do that, and that'd be fine.
Yeah, but I'd probably get like the theme for my console or whatever for finishing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get the ones for the other. Oh, you know, I remember why I didn't. Because you actually have to read the journal entries.
Oh yeah, you have to read like the Ansem reports and journal entries and shit.
Yeah. Um, I want to do a video where I just review the entire Kingdom Hearts series.
Good.
Oh my god, that's gonna be something.
Yeah.
It's like, this
but I
game
feel
is
like I don't.
good.
I feel like I would have to go back and replay half of them.
Or at least watch
for like
the
a little
cuts.
bit. It's like play the game a little bit just for like to feel the mechanics,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can just like maybe watch some of the cutscenes.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I am having a very, very like I'm having a good time playing the games, but then the story is like, oh mama.
Mm-hmm.
Oh mama.
Like I'm having a very mixed time. You know, I bookied Lingering Will Terra by using Fatal Crest and putting negative combos on. He didn't get to move except for me slapping him around the map with my knee blade.
Nay, Blade. Nay.
No, watch me whip. Okay,
Talking about in Kingdom Hearts 2, the Lingering Will secret
fight, yeah. So, like, that's the other thing, is there's so much more complex shit that I don't know about, like, negative combos. And I'm just like, oh boy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you can. There's like so much optimization you could do in Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? You know what I kind of want to do, since this is like our which is gonna be our Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Let's rank horror franchises.
Mm.
Ooh,
Feel like
that'll be fun.
That'll probably get us through to the last, at least hour, right? And then we could call that an episode.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like a short episode, but an episode nonetheless.
Yeah. I think let's maybe start with slashers, and then if we still need to fill time, we can move on.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know much about fucking like franchises, like for horror movies. I'm not a very horror movie fan.
I've seen like pretty much most of the Halloween franchise.
How many movies does it need? I'm gonna say to constitute as a franchise, it has to have at least 2 movies.
Yes.
Um,
Let's see. I've seen 2 of the Scream ones. I have not seen Nightmare on Elm, but
well, okay, so let's start um, with the popular ones. Um, because I've never seen like Candyman or anything, so that doesn't really
yeah,
constitute like talking about if I've never seen it.
yeah, I've never seen
Um,
Candyman either.
I wanted to watch like the first movie in like the popular ones before we did this, but we didn't really
Hmm.
have time. Okay, I
And
guess let's start with the one that everybody knows, Halloween.
Halloween.
ooh,
I think Halloween um
it's an interesting one because it's like the first movie is actually really amazing, but
yes.
then when you start to get into the various timelines, because the Halloween timeline is very, very, very confusing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god,
Oh my god.
oh my god.
So yeah, like I would say the first Halloween movie is probably like an S tier movie.
Yes.
But then like after Halloween 2, the rest of them kind of aren't great.
Yeah, and it almost gets to the point where you have to like break them down by which storyline are we going?
Well, so I have never seen Halloween 3. So,
I've never seen Halloween 3, and from what I know, that
yeah.
one doesn't even really need to be factored in
Oh
because
no, it really doesn't. It's
it
part of
doesn't
the
even
anthology
cover.
timeline.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't even cover Mikey anyway. So
Yeah.
at
Um
that point, then it's like the Cult of Thorns, which was the first one for
yeah.
like 4, 5, and 6.
Oh yeah, they like there was the weird after 2, they kind of split it off where 4, 5 and
Mm-hmm.
6 is a trilogy, and then Halloween 1, 2 and H2O are a trilogy.
Yeah, because it's like Halloween, like H20 is like 20 years after. What was that?
Halloween 2,
Yeah,
which
and
to
then
be
there's
fair
the
is takes place the same night as the
yeah,
first movie.
and then there's the Rob Zombie ones, and then
Yes.
there's the new trilogy, which starts right after, which is only following the first movie rather than 2 and 1.
Okay. That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me because Halloween 2 feels like such a crucial movie to the franchise because of how iconic the
Yeah,
second movie was.
yeah.
But I also understand because Halloween 2 is the movie where they're like, oh, you're Michael Myers' sister.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the new trilogy for me, I've not seen the first 2, but Halloween Ends was good because I feel like I didn't see the first 2.
Yeah, I want to see those 3. And if I'm gonna be like trying to find days to watch it, it's like if I don't know if Halloween Ends is on streaming,
It is. It's on
but
Peacock.
oh yeah, then I can probably just find somewhere to like watch it. I can do one the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st.
Or we could just have like a little marathon on Halloween.
Oh, that is true.
And then yeah, maybe like the week after Halloween we could actually like talk about it cuz like we could do a little Halloween movie marathon in the Discord server.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that we
maybe.
could.
Maybe like the day before as well.
Uh-huh.
Um so we've
Um
done Halloween. Friday the 13th.
yes, I've seen I think it was like 4 or 5 of them at this point. Or was it
Um
just the 3 or 4? I watched them like last year and I don't even remember too much. But it's like it's actually kind of amazing how much they can actually do on like what is effectively like a shoestring budget.
Yeah, well, the first two movies are really, really solid, and then it just goes
Yeah,
down from there. Kind of the same with Like, it's the same shit with Halloween, where it was just like they had to keep getting wackier and wackier to stay relevant.
yeah,
That by the end of it, you're like, okay, I felt like I could have skipped half of these movies, and I would have understood basically the same knowledge that I did had I not seen them.
hmm Although I will say the third one was actually decent.
Yeah,
And
but then
and three also was the one that introduced the famous hockey mask.
so we're saying Halloween is like an S tier because of how iconic it is, right?
Yes.
I feel like
On top of that, with like the first movie just being really great,
yeah.
and the second one.
Um so Friday the 13th also feels as like I feel like I can't really rank them on being iconic because they're all iconic, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give Friday the 13th like an A or a B because you've got really really bad stinkers like Jason Takes Manhattan.
And yeah, there was
Yeah.
also like what was it, Jason
Jason X.
X?
Yeah.
Jason X, but Jason X was fun.
I
Was
haven't
it though?
seen it, so I don't know exactly how fun it is. I'd have to watch it just
Oh,
to
it's
verify.
bad.
But is it
It,
like fun bad?
it's like
So bad
so
it's
bad
fun.
it comes back around in my opinion.
Ah, I see.
Um and then um there's like the final Friday, which was after the original company sold the rights.
Oh yeah, it was like to New Line Cinema, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday.
Uh-huh.
And then there's like another movie, but before we talk about that one, I want to talk about the next franchise, which is Nightmare on Elm Street.
I've never actually seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
They're good. I mean, like the it's the same shit where like the first one is the best. And then it just gets
Mm-hmm.
worse and worse as it goes. And I feel like we're going to say that a lot about the franchises on this list.
Yeah, because it's an oddly recurring theme.
Well, there's like one franchise that I feel like gets worse, but in a good way. And we'll get to that in a bit. But so the first Friday the 13th, not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street has a lot of like practical effects and whatnot. So then,
Mm-hmm.
like, there are scenes where like you see Freddy's face poke out of the wall, and it's what they did was they took like a practical thing and pushed the actor's face through that thing. So then, when you see like the hands and whatnot, where it's like still the wall, but in the shape of like Freddy's hands and in the shape of Freddy's face, it's an actual person pushing their face through this like sheet. And then
Damn.
by the end, like it's this really trippy horror movie, and it's got like young Johnny Depp in it. And a lot of what they did was really good for the time, like the time where like Freddy felt kind of terrifying, and this was before he started throwing around the "hey bitch" and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because Freddy has this issue where like certain horror villains had this issue where they kept trying to make them more and more comedic because they knew that they couldn't be scary anymore. Because the first movie of each franchise, you can kind of hide the character behind this kind of like, when is he gonna pop up? When is the bad guy gonna pop up? And then when he pops up, it's creepy. It's weird, it's creepy, it's freaky. It's so fucking scary. But only the first time around. So then each subsequent appearance of this character, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Because then they're just like, oh, well, we gotta make him funny now. You know?
Yeah.
And that's really the issue that a lot of these horror franchises have, especially Nightmare on Elm. And it got so bad to the point that Wes Craven made a new Nightmare, where it was just like meta horror. And, yeah, like, New Nightmare kind of, in my opinion, brings it back around where it's creepy, it's weird, it's got this whole, like, meta horror thing going on with it, and it got rated pretty low because it's got a lot of meta horror stuff going for it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what made it work to me, you know?
Yeah.
And now that that's, like, meta horror is seen as bad, that makes me sort of, like, concerned for the genre, because at least meta horror for a while worked, and that's what I like about Scream, which is another series by Wes Craven. And the whole point of Scream was to be meta horror, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It was supposed to be like satirical of the slasher genre.
Yeah, well, so you've got the creator of the Friday the 13th franchise coming on, and the first time we see the Ghostface mask is actually in A New Nightmare. Because the new Freddy Krueger shows up and like really interrupts Robert Englund and the one of the final girls at a press conference where they're like signing and whatnot for the Friday the 13th franchise, and Wes Craven's gonna unveil his new franchise that he's gonna do, and Freddy Krueger interrupts that and starts killing people. And that was like really fucking cool, because essentially they used A New Nightmare to introduce Wes Craven's new franchise and kind of sort of connect Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Hmm.
But before we start talking about Scream, you've also got Freddy versus Jason.
Oh yes, Freddy versus Jason.
Which is one of the worst slasher movies I have ever seen. I feel bad because Zoth doesn't really have much to say about any of these, but
it's like
Fine.
I haven't seen that one either, so it's like not much I can comment on, unfortunately.
yeah. Well, so to keep it brief, Freddy vs. Jason is a real stinker because they essentially, at the end of Jason Goes to Hell, Freddy Krueger drags Jason's mask down into hell, and then it starts basically where the final Friday ends, with Freddy Krueger dragging the mask down to hell, and Freddy Krueger's pissed that nobody remembers him because reasons, and then they fight because Jason starts to steal Freddy's kills. Because after Jason starts killing, then people are like, oh my god, Jason's back! So then, like, Jason's getting the credit for Freddy's kills. Or Freddy's getting the credit for Jason's kills, and then Jason steals Freddy's kills. So then Freddy gets pissed. It's like, hey, what are you doing? And they start fighting, and then I think they just both kill each other. I don't remember. It was bad. And then we wouldn't see Jason come back until the reboot, which for a while Jason was held up in a lawsuit, so I don't think we're going to see much of Jason for a very long time because the rights just kind of opened up, and it's going to take them a minute to make a new Jason movie.
Yeah, it
But
is gonna be a while.
yeah, I think this is one that to go back to the Scream franchise. I think Zoth, you can actually comment on this because we watched Scream together.
Hmm. I think we watched the newest Scream movie
No, but
together.
remember we watched the first three in the Patreon Discord server
Yeah,
from when I did Patreon only movie nights.
Did we?
Yeah, because I fell asleep during the second one, remember? And you guys watched the third one without me because I was asleep.
I I don't remember that.
one. I think I remember that one, but I don't know if it was actually Scream.
No, it was Scream because
Or was that a different one? Because I remember you falling asleep in. It wasn't actually a horror film. Now that I think about it.
I fell asleep during a lot of those movies because that this was back at the height of my streaming career, so I'd be up for like days on end. So then when we do one of the Patreon movie nights, I was so like tired that I would just pass out. And I think that's part of why I was burnt out is because we were doing all this stuff that led me to burning out and then falling asleep
Hmm.
like mid content thing.
Right. Think I might remember them us watching the Scream movies, but I don't really remember much at all about them. I
Yeah.
only really consciously remember the newest one.
I feel like with Scream, it's like the height of the meta horror phase where it's like
Oh
the
yeah, you
entire
have them
time,
discussing like, oh, horror movie tropes is what you don't do if you don't want to get killed.
yeah, you never say you'll be right back. You never, yeah. So then they have that, and then the other Scream movies, kind of the same thing, where they intentionally follow the tropes. Because like in the second movie, it's like they do the reverse of Friday the 13th, where instead of the mother being the killer in the first movie, the mother's the killer in the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have like they do the whole copycat killer trope throughout like the entire franchise.
Mm.
And then the most recent Scream movie has kind of the same premise where it's like copycat fanatic killers.
Yeah,
But I will say Jack Quaid really was fantastic in this movie.
Mm.
honestly, he was.
And I felt like between the two killers, Jack Quaid was the better of the two, even though he was kind of the sidekick one.
Yeah.
Um,
That the one that was played by the actor who plays Huey in The Boys?
yeah, Jack Quaid.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
I know we said we'd be like rating them, but at this point we're basically just giving a synopsis and being like, this is why they work, this is why they don't work.
Mm.
But so Scream was considered so bad when it came out because the whole reason for its existence was kind of missed by critics that the Wayans brothers ended up making Scary Movie.
Oh
Which
my god, the
was
fucking
a
Wayne brothers.
parody of it.
Yeah, so it ends
And
up being a parody of a parody.
Yeah, while using the original working name for Scream, which was originally titled on like the original drafts for the script as Scary Movie,
Mm-hmm.
as was like pretty much all of the films that would follow it, because Wes Craven had originally, I think it was Wes Craven who wrote all the scripts, or at least partially.
Yeah.
When he was words when he was gonna be bringing this to see who would buy the film, it's like, you know, maybe it would be better if I sold him an entire franchise, because a franchise, or at least the potential of a franchise, would be more enticing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that caused Scary Movie to get made, which are not great. The scary
Oh,
movies are pretty bad.
actually, correction. It wasn't. I didn't mean Wes Craven. The person I was talking about was Kevin Williamson.
Oh, okay.
Please.
But then to lean into the whole like horror comedy thing, there's the Child's Play and Chucky series.
Yes, another series I actually should get around to seeing.
They're really good actually. Like some of them, like Seed of Chucky isn't great, but it's also
Mhm.
like pure comedy. And then they had those like straight to DVD ones, which were way better than the other Chucky movies.
Yeah.
And now that they've got that TV show on Sci-Fi, that's pretty good too, apparently.
Hmm.
Not Sci-Fi, I don't remember what channel it's on, but
It
I'm
was
pretty sure
sci-fi.
it's... Oh, is it Sci-Fi?
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, no, I would love to get around to seeing all of the Chucky movies. I haven't seen all of them. I've just seen like bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, Seed of Chucky's really bad. Bride of Chucky's not much better. And then like the first two Child's Play movies are really good, and then the third one's kind of just meh.
Hmm.
Um,
I almost went to see the 2019 one actually.
oh, the one with Mark Hamill?
Yes.
I haven't seen it. I want to see it, but I don't know if like
Yeah.
it's just weird. I want to, but I don't know if I want to.
Uh-huh.
I feel like we're really proving the point of this episode's title where I talk too much.
I mean, I just don't have much
And-
to add,
And
unfortunately.
this one is more just unfortunate circumstance of while I am the second biggest horror fan here, I haven't seen most of these.
Yeah, I wonder if I could convince my friend to do like a one-on-one podcast like me and him, who's huge into horror, and we would just do a whole episode talking about like horror movies.
Mayhaps.
Maybe I'll text him one of these days and be like, "Hey, you got your podcast, I got mine. You want to do like this weird collab episode that we could just both release as an episode of our podcast?" Um, yeah, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, I'll maybe after this podcast I'll text him, see if he's like game to possibly schedule something.
Mayhaps.
Um, yeah, what else do you guys want to like talk about?
Hmm.
Oh, that's right. There actually was apparently some news with James Gunn in DC.
Oh yeah, what happened there?
Um, they say that James Gunn and I forget the other person's name, but they're going to be running the whole DC film and television like live action aspect of like DC.
Hmm. Oh, the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie got a teaser.
Oh, you mean the holiday
The-
special?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
but
was
it's just
gonna
Guardians
say-
of the Galaxy 3, but they're calling it the holiday special.
Well, don't they have one that is called Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
I don't think so.
No, I'm pretty sure that.
That one, that one is in works.
Well, I know
um,
that.
Well, no, like the holiday special is Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
No,
It's just
not.
No, it's something different.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming out in 2023
Yeah, the holiday
um,
special is gonna be a fucking Disney Plus thing.
in December 2022.
Yeah. Well, no, the first episode for the holiday special is airing on the 25th of November.
Oh. But
Okay,
yeah.
I'm so lost with this Marvel MCU bullshit cuz like there were rumors that the title for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was the holiday special.
I guess it's its own
Yeah.
thing.
I
Yeah, I
fucking
guess
hate you,
the
Marvel.
holiday is its own thing.
That's so strange.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 does actually have an expected release date,
Yeah, it's like May.
May 5th, 2023. And then it's like the holiday special, which is, oh, we're breaking into Kevin Bacon's mansion, and you are going to be our Christmas gift to Peter.
Peter. Christmas gift to Peter.
Well, because like James Gunn said that the next Guardians of the Galaxy thing he was working on was going to be the last. But I guess he meant the next movie is the last movie.
Yeah.
Seems that way.
And then...
But I guarantee Marvel will be like, okay, this thing prints money. James Gunn, you in or you out? And he's going to be like, nope, I said it's the last one. And they're like, okay, cool, we'll just find a new director.
Well, didn't they already try firing him, though?
They tried, and then, like... Because James Gunn got canceled, like, a while back for shit he said, like, in 2010 or something.
Wasn't there also, like, photos of something else, too?
I don't know. I don't want to throw
yeah.
around speculation.
But yeah, I guess it's like the whole DC thing is also why he could say that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is his last Guardians of the Galaxy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, he'll be running the film and television aspect of the DC studios alongside Peter Safran.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, because I've heard Black Adam is not great. In fact, I think I've heard the opposite, that Black Adam is terrible.
I've heard that it's, like, just kind of like what you expect.
I've heard that it's actually just fun and entertaining, but that's about it.
The only thing I've heard about it is, yeah, it's a movie. Which, in my opinion, is not a good review.
Yeah.
But it's also not the worst review it could get, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just very mid, from what I've heard.
Just like your waifus.
Damn, how dare you.
How dare.
I know, I'm an asshole.
Oh, pair.
But, yeah, so from my understanding, it's not great. And yeah, James Gunn will really save the DC universe, because fucking Peacemaker was the only thing of recent movies that I enjoyed. Well, and Suicide Squad, which was also James Gunn's thing.
Well, specifically the Suicide Squad, not...
Yeah, James Gunn is going to be handling the creative side of that.
Good.
Whereas Peter Safran is on the business and production end.
Cool. I think I'm hoping Man of Steel 2 is good. Henry Cavill really needs a winner for him to stay the character, which I think he deserves. I feel like he deserves to stay as this character, you know?
Yeah, he does.
I'd be really disappointed if they recast him.
Yeah, and if The Rock is to be believed, apparently he was one of the big champions to bring him back as Superman.
Good.
Oopa.
Like, I managed to see that on a Twitter post from Mr. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and he's like, "Oh, I petitioned hard to get him back because it's for the fans.
Well, I'm sure the actor for Shazam did
Yeah.
too, because like they've already had Henry Cavill's fucking Superman in Shazam.
Uh-huh.
Granted, it was from the neck down, so they could have said like, "Oh nope, it's just the next guy." But like,
True.
yeah, I'm pretty sure because the way it seems like it's going to go is that we're kind of continuing off of the Shazam thing, and they're gonna just kind of pretend that Justice League never happened,
Mm-hmm.
while kind of like being like, "Oh, it happened, but we don't talk about it." Kind of like how the first Suicide Squad happened, but we don't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And how technically Jared Leto is a part of this universe, but we don't talk about it. And Ben Affleck was in this universe, but we don't talk about it. Because
Or
I think,
sad Ben Affleck.
well, I'm pretty sure in Peacemaker, like when they had like the little cameo of all the Justice League members, they deliberately left Batman out. But they kept Henry Cavill's Superman in the cameo. You just don't see Henry Cavill because he's not actually there. It's just a dude standing in for Henry Cavill. But like Batman was the only person in the Justice League that was missing in that scene. I want a Nightwing movie.
Maybe.
It could be interesting.
I wonder how they're going to reintroduce Batman into this universe, because I've heard conflicting things. I've heard on one hand they might bring Ben Affleck back, but just give him a completely different character direction. But I've also heard that they might, like, just recast Batman or even bring in Michael Keaton, but with Batgirl having been canceled, it seems outcome unlikely. Did we talk last week about Ezra Miller might be going to jail for 26 years?
We did.
Yeah,
Okay.
we did.
Because I was going to say, this would have been a perfect time to talk about that. Because that might mean that the Flash's future in the MCU is also shaky.
The MCU
Shocked.
or DCEU?
DCU.
Or DCU. But yeah, it's like the last I heard with Ezra Miller and the Flash, they were doing reshoots for
I
the
did hear.
Flash.
I heard that as well. I did hear that they were in the reshoots. I mean, it's. I don't know. I feel very conflicted with the whole Ezra Miller thing because they did a lot of messed up shit, but also
They
recently. But they've also recently like admitted that they did a bunch of messed up shit and like said that they're getting like mental help for it. You know.
Yeah. I think for me, I'll wait and see what happens. But beyond that, I'm like, that shit happened.
Yeah.
And then now is now. And it's thankfully not happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, so at least their mental health arc is coming to what seems to be a good conclusion, as opposed to Kanye West.
Oh, yes. Kanye West. Yes, West. Mr. Adidas can't do shit to me. Like, literally 10 days ago.
And then Adidas fucking
Yeah, we gonna drop your ass.
canceled his brand deal. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I swear to
What
God,
was
these like...
that all about? Kanye with, they can't drop me.
What's up with Kim Kardashian, like, getting with these, like, kind of mentally unstable people?
Money.
Because, I mean, Pete Davidson isn't, like, mentally unstable, but he's, like... he does have mental health issues.
Yeah.
Which he himself talks about, but at least he's more stable than Kanye is, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing with, like, Pete Davidson is everybody's attracted to him, and he has this weird, like, homeless chic kind of look, as I call it.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Kanye West is like going off of the deep end constantly. Like, I don't know if you guys saw his interaction with Miss Jamie Lee Curtis.
I
Oh no.
don't think I have.
So Kanye West tweeted out that he was gonna go DEFCON 3 on all Jewish people.
Mm.
Oh, that one I did hear about.
And Jamie Lee, like, basically, like, you know, said, like, hey, this is really messed up. Go get help.
Mhm.
Fuck
Uh-huh.
it. She was like, stay off Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was like a little bit of that, and then I believe Jamie Lee Curtis was on like some morning talk show about it.
Hmm.
And they essentially did the whole like, well, so what happened there? And Jamie Lee was just very matter of fact, like, dude, the dude said he was gonna go DEFCON 3 on all Jewish people. What do you think happened there?
Exactly.
Like, I would die. I would kill for Jamie Lee. She is
Yes.
such an angel.
Oh. Oh, and one of the real kickers, like pun not intended, um, Kanye West went over to Skechers
Oh
to
boy.
get a new um shoe brand deal.
Skechers?
Yes, Skechers, the company that was, from what I've heard, founded and is still run by Jewish people.
Oh god.
So you can pretty much imagine what Skechers' response was.
Fuck no, please don't contact us again.
Exactly. It's like, fuck out of here with your shit.
Skechers isn't even good shoes though.
I know.
They're like dad shoes.
Or kid shoes.
Yeah, you have Skechers when you're like under the age of 12 and then over the age of 60.
Mm-hmm.
Zoth, have you ever worn Skechers?
Yeah, of course.
Do you still wear Skechers?
My pair of slip-on shoes are Skechers.
When will you wear Skechers?
Huh?
I was making a joke because you know the interview with Elijah Wood when he's like, "Do you wear wigs?"
I do not remember that.
Do I have to show you it?
Maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna show Zoth the Elijah Woods Lord of the Rings interview, and then we're gonna talk about that. That's what we're doing today. We're talking about random shit.
Yes.
Will you wear wigs? Okay. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
In the photo shoots you do. So it's his other co-star like pretending to do this like accent where he's like,
Yeah, it's fucking Mary.
he can see Elijah Wood, but Elijah Wood can't see him.
Oh.
Do you wear wigs? Have you worn wigs? Will you wear wigs? When will you wear wigs?
What the fuck?
So
Why is he
it's this prank interview. It's a 9-minute long interview, and it's on the special features of the Lord of the Rings like trilogy set.
Uh-huh.
So it's this prank interview where the guy who plays Mary is like, you know, asking Elijah Wood all these outrageous like questions just to see how long it'll take Elijah Wood to like crack. And it's an interesting interview, interesting in the sense that like the first time you watch it you're like, oh, this is hilarious, and then you kind of keep watching it and it's like, yeah, these are funny, and then it's like, you know, you quoted a shit ton but you don't really laugh at them anymore, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So that's what that is. I was just asking you questions like that interview as a joke.
I was gonna say that reminds me of the of the Weird Al thing that
Uh-huh.
Weird Al used to do, where like he would take interviews with
Oh, I know what you're talking
famous celebrities and then like cut himself into it, asking these really weird questions to like
Yeah.
bait out funny responses. And one of them was like, it was one with Eminem. It was like, excuse me, Mr. Eminem. Can I just like? It was essentially him doing something really weird and crazy, and like Eminem's like, yeah, sure, go for it. He's like, okay, and he fucking does the weird and crazy thing.
Yeah.
What the fuck were they called? They were called something.
I think if you just look up Weird Al
Interview with Eminem.
interview, yeah, with Eminem. Yeah, it's just called Weird Al interview with Eminem.
Yeah,
And then there's one with Avril Lavigne, Snoop Dogg, Paul McCartney.
Kevin Federline.
Do you ever see when Coolio is presenting an award and it's to him and he walks up in the Coolio hair?
Nope. Like Weird Al wearing the Coolio hair.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I think he did it for Amish Paradise too.
Gosh.
But yeah, so that was like the first time he met Coolio. He just showed up on stage with Coolio's hair, and Coolio loved it and wanted to do a song with him. And then I think they have a Weird Al like biopic coming out, and the trailer is just a parody of other biopic trailers. Like I think it's like shot for shot one of the other biopic trailers.
Oh, the Weird Al one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, apparently the writers for that did no research into Weird Al's actual life at all.
But Weird
But
Al
that's the
probably
point.
wanted it that way.
Yeah, no, that's the point of it. It's supposed to be stupid and just nonsensical.
Yeah, no, it's parody of other biopics because
Mhm.
um I think after the Bohemian Rhapsody one, I saw it and I was like, this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did like no research into fucking the life of other than like, rumors around the internet.
And then the fucking Live Aid thing.
Yeah, the live like when they have like that um the where it's like the shot for shot remake of that Bohemian Rhapsody concert.
Yeah.
Um and then I think the other one like cuz I think the Elvis one like was better researched than the I haven't seen it yet, but I believe the one for Elvis was kind of like researched better than that one, but it was still like for some reason they made half the movie about Elvis being like an activist,
Hmm.
even though it like he wasn't that much of an activist if I recall. I don't know. I would need to look into it, but I know.
I mean, the guy who friggin' discovered Elvis, it's the way he always described it, he was racist as fuck.
Oh yeah,
Because
but
because I think I remember hearing an interview was like, or hearing of an interview of him. He was like, "Well, I want a white boy who could take the fucking pure and lovely tunes of bluegrass and mix it with the down and dirty of the African Americans rock and roll." It was
I
essentially like that.
yeah, but I guarantee he didn't say African Americans.
No, he didn't. He probably
No,
said the fucking the word.
well, because
Not
for
the word, but the word.
yeah, the word.
Well, like the NAA, like I don't know if that's a word you can't say or not.
I'm gonna type it. I'm gonna type it to you just to make sure we're talking about the same word.
Yeah, that word.
No, yeah, you can't say that one.
You can't?
No.
Okay. But then why is there a whole like fucking organization with that word?
Well,
I mean, I know it's
I
like
think you would just say the NAACP. I don't think you would.
NAACP.
I don't think you would really want to like you know.
Oh, never mind. It's the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Okay,
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I was like, no, I don't think that's the word that they actually use in the organization, but it like kind of started that way.
gotcha.
Yeah, no, I mean, the word we're talking about, by the way, is the French word for black.
I think it's Spanish, isn't it?
No, I mean, it might also be Spanish, but it's French.
Yeah, I think.
Or wait, no, it might
It's
be
both
Spanish.
Spanish and
Yeah.
Portuguese.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, no, because French is noir.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the Spanish word. Sorry, I got my languages mixed up.
The term can be construed as offensive, inoffensive, or completely neutral, largely depending on the region or country where it is used.
I believe if you say it here, it still has that like connotation. So I would advise
Probably.
not
Yeah,
saying it.
I know, I know.
Um, but yeah, like for some reason in that biopic, they made him like a huge activist, and that was weird. We actually kind of have this weirdly nice flow of not being organized, but like not organized to the point where one conversation leads into another.
It oddly works.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where to go after talking about Elvis's manager being racist, but
I don't know.
um oh, there was like some comedian that died the other day. Just to
Think
go on in a different direction, but
Hmm.
I think his name was like Leslie Jordan.
that
Leslie Nielsen?
sounds familiar.
No, Leslie Jordan, not Leslie Nielsen.
I know what I said.
He had like a heart attack behind the wheel and he crashed into the side of a building. Um, yeah, a tow truck just removed Leslie's car from the scene. You can see heavy damage to the front passenger side, and the wheel was almost completely taken off. I it like sucks because 67 is not old. Like 67 is still relatively young, you know.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't a fan of this person. Like I hadn't even seen any of their work before, but I'm sure they were very talented, and it always sucks when some when a life is lost, especially somebody so talented.
Hmm.
Um, like shit, like heart goes out, like to the family and whoever
It
else,
does.
Um, because I think Dolly Parton was really good friends with him, and he was a big advocate for like drag performance and whatnot. I don't know if he was queer, but he was a very big like queer advocate from the few things I
Hmm.
know about him, because I do believe that he had some connection to RuPaul.
Wait, did he?
He either had some connection to RuPaul, or somebody did a makeup thing of Leslie Jordan on Snatch Game.
Hmm.
Oh no, I mean Leslie Jordan. If you look up Leslie Jordan RuPaul, yeah, no, there's an image of him posing with RuPaul, and holy shit, is RuPaul like way taller than he is. But yeah, shit, that's so. Um, that's like really depressing for people that like
Mm-hmm.
are fans of his and like, you know, like
Yeah.
tied to him, like every time I see like a celebrity death thing, it really like kind of reminds me that life is fucking fleeting.
Mm,
Yeah. It kind of is quite fleeting.
Yeah.
quite
Um
flirting.
oh, speaking of celebrity death things, Matthew Perry had some choice words about Keanu Reeves.
Oh yeah, I saw those earlier, and it's
And
like, what prompted you to say this, man?
yeah, holy shit.
What was going on? I don't know this.
Uh they talk about River Phoenix
Mm-hmm.
and how River was like taken too soon and how they were a genius who was ahead of their time. Um and Matthew Perry said, "Why is it people like Heath Ledger and River Phoenix have to die, but people like Keanu Reeves get to live?"
Jesus. Wait,
Yeah.
does he not realize that River Phoenix was a very close personal friend of Keanu Reeves,
I know.
and that Keanu Reeves has already like, has he talked about like fucking like survivor syndrome shit that he's had, or am I just pulling that out of my
Wait,
ass?
what? Sorry, repeat that,
Huh?
sorry.
Hasn't Keanu Reeves like talked about like survivor syndrome shit or survivor's guilt shit?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I believe he does have,
Because
like, survivor's guilt.
didn't his mom die in a fucking car crash or something?
Yeah. Because I was looking at, like, what was trending recently, and Keanu Reeves was trending. Um, oh, if you guys want to go back to the Kanye West thing, I found a list of every organization that's dropped him.
Hmm.
All right. Spill the
But,
juicy deets.
well, no, I mean, like, after we talk about, like, Matthew Perry.
Oh, well then after this, spill the juicy deets.
Yeah, well, because, like, holy fuck, like, Friends is unfunny, but Matthew Perry, like, fuck him.
Yeah, yeah.
I never liked Friends.
I've
Oh, no,
not
I didn't
watched
either.
Friends either, so
Because, yeah, Keanu Reeves is trending. Um, yeah, Keanu Reeves is still, like, super heartbroken um,
yeah.
about River Phoenix's death. Um,
Yeah, and then his first, I think it's his first wife. She died in a car crash in like '01, like 2001.
yeah.
Hmm.
A lot of celebrities, though, have been, like, rallying behind Keanu, though.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Linda Carter, Rachel Zegler, and Evan Dixon all rallied behind him. Evan Dixon is a screenwriter and a director. Not too sure who Rachel Zegler is, but the name does sound familiar. You know what? I think she might actually be one of the actresses
Rachel Zegler? Let's see.
in Shazam.
She is.
Yeah.
Except it just says, what was it, actress? Oh, it's in the upcoming Shazam Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, I think she plays one of the, like, Shazams.
Yeah.
Um, Billy Baldwin um, also rallied behind Keanu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's so much bullshit, like, you know, like, in the Hollywood realm, because, like, how dense do you have to be like, oh, you know, Heath Ledger and River Phoenix, rest in peace. Keanu Reeves, how the fuck are you alive?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And essentially, from what I'm reading, it looks like Matthew Perry is really just trying to talk himself up, because he says that River Phoenix is a better actor than he is, but that he's funnier than River Phoenix.
Hmm.
Yeah, Perry questions why Reeves is still alive when talented actors and original thinkers like River Phoenix and Chris Farley had tragic deaths. Perry continues later on, River was a beautiful man. It always seemed to be really talented guys who go down. Why is it the original thinkers like River Phoenix and Heath Ledger die, but Keanu Reeves still walks among us? Among us.
Bogus.
Among Us.
R- River was a better actor than me. I was funnier. But I certainly held my own in our scenes. No small feat when I look back decades later. Um, Keanu Reeves is cited again when Perry writes about the death of comedian Chris Farley. His disease progressed faster than mine. Plus, I had a healthy fear of the word heroin, a fear we did not share. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
Chris,
kind of just like putting the blame on Chris Farley that he OD'd.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
mean,
punched a hole
granted,
through Jennifer Aniston's dressing room wall when I found out. Keanu Reeves still walks among us. Oh my fucking god. I had to
Why?
I had to promote Almost Heroes 2 weeks after he died. I found myself publicly discussing his death from drugs and alcohol. I was high the entire time. That is fucked up, dude.
This
Like,
man.
what? I had to talk about my friend's overdose. I was high the entire time. What the fuck?
I don't even know what to say in response to that.
Dude, this is so messed up. Like, Matthew Perry, fucking fuck you.
Please, never enter the spotlight again.
Yeah, I know they were talking about like a Friends remake, but it was gonna have some actor that everybody hates. I think it had no, it has. They did a Friends remake and it had James Corden in it.
Oh.
Okay, but anyway, so the before I get mad at fucking Matthew Perry, that was fucking holy shit. So Kanye West, 8 organizations and 2 star athletes have cut ties with Kanye West. Or I guess his name now is just Ye. He's calling himself Ye now, I guess. This would have been the first time I'm hearing about this, but yeah.
That
So
explains why I'm hearing yay. Ugh.
yeah, so I'm just gonna call him Kanye. It's not. I don't feel like that's dead naming him, right? It's just refusing to shorten his name down.
Um, I actually don't even know the reason behind why it got changed.
I don't either.
Because the only other name I know of him was like, what was it, Yeezy or something?
Yeah, he called himself Yeezus. So TJ Maxx, Aaron Donald, Jalen Brown, Foot Locker, Gap, Adidas, CAA, Vogue, MRC, and Balenciaga are no longer working with Kanye.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I can't blame him.
Although, because the thing is like somebody saying that there's like 10 athletes sponsored by Adidas who refuse to talk about Kanye, and that makes them like complicit. And I don't understand because Adidas dropped Kanye.
Yeah, they did.
They don't have to make statements. Like, what does that take?
I have no clue.
And then some of Kanye's Dairy Queen, National Association of Peruvian Horses, Arthur Treachers, Little Golden Book, Tubi, and Vlasic will no longer. Isn't Vlasic the pickle company? What ties did they have with Kanye West? What ties did they have with Kanye West?
That's a good question. What ties does a pickle company have with Kanye West?
Maybe he sponsored them, or they sponsored him. I don't fucking.
Apparently, Kanye West is no longer a billionaire.
Good.
His estimated worth is to drop below 400 million.
Serves him right.
Foot Locker is no longer selling Yeezy shoes. Oh, his Twitter and Instagram got banned. Yeah, the full quote is going DEFCON 3. Not even DEFCON. DEFCON.
Idiot.
Let that sink in. The man is so stupid that instead of DEFCON, he said DEFCON.
That man doesn't even have half a brain cell. He has no brain cells.
Yeah. God damn. Fucking. Apparently, it was so bad that Joe Biden had to talk about it.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
and Obama.
what?
I think it also.
Oh no, Joe Biden's name just got brought up. Never mind.
Oh
I'm gonna
my
say
god.
I'm pretty sure in an interview, Barack Obama he called fucking Kanye West a jackass. like
Oh yeah, wait,
like
hang on.
no cap, just fucking straight up called Kanye West a jackass. Like, that Kanye West fella, he's a real jackass.
President Barack Obama, Kanye West jackass. Oh, when they were talking about this is like 13 years ago when they were talking about Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but
yeah.
still.
Okay, I thought that was like in an interview recently.
No, but I mean, it's still like he still said it.
Yeah.
He knew what was going down.
Everybody knew that he's been a jackass for years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, why is Elon Musk trending?
I think.
He's actually buying Twitter.
Yeah,
well, he would
going back to buying Twitter again.
He was forced to buy it.
Was he?
Yeah, well,
Well,
because
it's the
he
thing.
he was going
It's
to buy it, and then I think there was like negotiations, but he had already signed to the point where he didn't want to buy it, but was essentially being forced to buy it.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like a back and forth. It's like I want to buy it. No, I don't want to buy it. It's like okay, I actually do want to buy it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I understand from the situation.
I also saw a thing that like he's gonna like he's planning on firing like 75% of the employees at Twitter
Yes,
because like
that's probably what it was that was trending.
yeah,
Yeah,
because like from what I've seen like the main Twitter office where they run shit, there is so much fucking bloat and just useless shit. Like they have like these noise canceling booths for like single meeting things, a giant fucking yoga um room, a pointless log cabin fucking island room kind of deal. They
yeah,
have fucking like restaurant grade chefs come in make lunch for the staff every day. Like shit that would be like fucking $30 a plate at like a restaurant, and they just get it for fucking free.
yeah.
It's like, god
Um,
damn, whoever owned Twitter beforehand really needed those tax write-offs.
oh, here's
Yep.
some kind of news in the nerd scene. David Tennant is now confirmed as the 14th Doctor.
Yes, and he's gonna be back for was it 3 episode specials before going off to the next Doctor,
Yeah,
which apologies if I butcher the name. It was Nkuti Gatwa.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I've had struggles pronouncing it, and I'm just saying that without even checking how it is. But well, if I manage to get it in one, hey, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up how to pronounce it. What?
What?
I don't understand.
Uh, Wait, Shuti Gatwa? Oh, it's a fancy little combo.
It's Juti Gatwa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I just saw here. It's like I
Yeah.
was almost there, but yeah,
I'm
it's like after those three, it's gonna be over to Shuti Gatwa.
I'm worried. I'm worried.
About
David Tennant's return as the next Doctor.
like writing wise.
Yes, because I think David Tennant
Okay,
will act it very well, but please don't shit on the 10th
okay, okay.
legacy.
I'll give you at least a little hope. Russell T Davies is writing everything from these specials onwards until he quits. Which I
Okay,
don't
good.
I don't remember when he said he's gonna or if he has said, but well, at some point in the future when Russell T Davies says again, I'm backing
Mhm.
out of Doctor Who, he's writing it until then. And that
Okay, good.
includes the next one for Mr. Gatwa.
Good. Good. Okay, I have some hope then. It's also going to be on Disney Plus, which is weird.
Yes. That is weird, but hey, if it makes accessibility or well accessing it better here in the West than well North America, I should say. Hey, all the
Yeah.
better.
I'm concerned because Jodie Whittaker and oh fuck, what's the guy's name who played Peter Capaldi? They both had a lot of love for the character,
Yes.
but
It's like
their
they were
writing was
great.
bad.
Yeah, it's like they were great at acting for the characters. It's just the writing was awful.
Yeah.
And it's like I even tried to give the Jodie Whittaker a try. I think I made it like 6 episodes in, and then I'm just like, I'm not gonna watch any more of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. And I haven't watched since.
Well, so I watched all of Capaldi's, I think, second season, the one where, like,
Yeah.
Clara ends up becoming a Time Lord. And she gets, like, her own diner TARDIS.
I remember watching most of the Capaldi era. I don't remember if I saw up to the end of that part with Clara.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think... Because the issue for me kind of is that, the you know, the writing with the 10th Doctor and the 11th Doctors were so fucking good that everything after that was like, whoa, wait, what? And it was so jarring, you know?
Uh-huh.
And then it didn't really matter how much love each actor had for the character because then the writing sucked. So then we may never see more of those actors as the character because they're just going to be related to the negative parts, you know?
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. Frankly, I have a lot of concerns for it, but also a lot of hope for the next seasons.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I suppose the one thing I really disliked from the Chibnall era was the whole answering the question that should never be answered.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could undo that part at least. Or at least just like shift it over to where the timeless child wasn't the Doctor, it was actually the Master.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that probably would have ended up being more interesting of a concept, because it would also help to explain why the man is as crazy as he is.
Yeah.
And especially since that whole arc, which is a retcon, it kind of null. I'm sorry on the word. It kind of null and voids a certain plot point in one of the previous specials with the 11th Doctor. I forget the special, but it's the one where it's like, you know, he's on his last regeneration, and you can just kind of see him getting older and older.
Oh,
and they finally give him like a new set of regenerations. I forget the name of the special.
oh god, I know which one you're talking about. It's like when the 11th Doctor stays behind to defend this, like, town, right, from the Cybermen.
The town was Trenzalore.
Uh-huh. And then he just keeps getting older and older because it essentially takes his entire life to protect this town.
Yeah.
And then
like
you see this...
hundreds of years.
Yeah, you see this, like, old man Matt Smith, and it's like, oh, shit, I'm dying. And then the crack in the universe gives him another set of regenerations.
Yeah. Whereas now with the timeless child, it's like, oops, well, he kind of didn't need it because he's kind of always had it. And he's the source of all Time Lord regenerations.
I didn't see that, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we actually managed to squeak in a 2 hour, 15-minute episode. Do you guys want to call it there?
No, I think that's fine.
Yeah, that works for me.
Hopefully we will find more topics for next week, because, again, this week had no fucking interesting stories come out. Except right at this moment when we're actually recording.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because half of this stuff will, half of this stuff did not come out until 4 hours ago when I started streaming. Actually, I had been
Indeed it
streaming for
did.
3 hours at that point.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and other
like
nerd
more.
news, Henry Cavill says he never lost hope that he would return as Superman.
Superman.
Henry Cavill says Superman will be enormously joyful when he returns. I never gave up hope. So yeah, Henry Cavill, very happy to have him back. He
Mhm.
seems very happy to return. And it was apparently a very powerful moment for him when he got to put the suit back on.
Hmm.
And yeah, I didn't see the Rock tweet that you were talking about where he says that he
Yeah.
demanded Henry Cavill come back.
I don't know. It was kind of just one of those things that was like, it just kind of popped up on my timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like Twitter just recommends it. Oh, yeah, here it is.
Oh, I
We
found
fought
it.
for years to bring you back. They always said no. But to Danny Garcia and HH Garcia, the Twitter handles, Hiram Garcia, and myself, no was not an option. We can't build our DCEU without the world's greatest superhero. And fans will always come first. Welcome home. I'll see you down the road.
Hell yeah.
It's like,
I would like to see Black Adam. I think because
yeah,
from what it seems, like you've said, it seems like it's a lot of fun. And
yeah,
what I
because,
thought was that this was a disaster.
mm-hmm.
But even
Yeah,
if it
because
is a disaster, it's gonna be fun.
yeah, because I've seen it make like 67 million at the domestic box office over the opening weekend, which is, yeah, it's a pretty decent opening.
Uh
And
huh.
then it's like I'm seeing the IMDb reviews of this, and IMDb I find is usually, it does tend to be more critical or more honest towards actual film criticism
Yeah.
and critique. They have this at like an average of 7.1 for reviews. So it's like, well, there should be at least some fun to be had. And let's see. And IMDb currently, right now, is ranking at number 1 on most popular movies.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
right above like Halloween Ends.
I also just saw a thing uh to kind of like go back to Kanye West's like anti-Semitism. Um so apparently Keemstar is kind of defending Kanye and Ethan Klein tweeted out, "Now that everybody is concerned about anti-Semitism, I'd like to remind you that Keemstar told his audience to tweet at me, 'Death to all Jewish people,' but like the shortened version, you know."
Mm-hmm.
Can you say that word? I don't want to like. I hate tiptoeing on rocks, but I don't want to say the word.
What,
Um,
Jewish?
No, no, no. The four-letter version.
Uh,
hold on.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Because the only
Uh,
two four-letter
Probably
words
not.
I can think of referring to Jewish people are both slurs.
gotcha. This is
And
the person
I'm not
that's.
familiar with either of them, so
One starts with a K, the other one starts with an H.
Oh, no, no, no. Just the abbreviated version of Jewish.
That's only three.
But like when you pluralize it, it's 4 letters.
Oh, I mean, I guess. I
Is
don't. I don't think that one is inherently. It's like it's a matter of context for that one.
I suppose I
Yeah.
don't know. I just rather would kind of tiptoe around saying offensive words if I can.
Yeah, like better safe than sorry.
Yeah. But apparently Keemstar also claimed that anybody that doesn't like Ben Shapiro is anti-Semitic.
Hmm.
Ah,
Um,
yes, because the only reason people dislike Ben Shapiro is because he's a Jew, and not because of his takes, of which he has many awful takes.
okay, well, Sophia. I was like, I'm gonna maybe not say the word, and then Sophia just straight up.
Sorry.
Well, no.
Wait, I said.
From what I'm seeing, it seems
Wait,
that like Jew is not a slur.
Okay,
That's
cool.
that's what that's
yeah.
just like the shorthand for
I
what they refer
wanted
to
Well, that's
themselves
also the
as.
three-letter word one too.
I
Well, it's
wanted
also like
I
okay, go
wanted
ahead.
confirmation that it wasn't
Yeah,
offensive.
yeah. I'm pretty sure Jew is the like word in Hebrew that they use to denote the people
Okay.
themselves. Like Jew itself is like a Hebrew word.
Okay. Well, I wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but so Keemstar wanted people to tweet "Death to all Jews" at Ethan. Um, and then he goes on to call Ethan a greedy Jew.
Jesus.
And then Keemstar also tweeted out, "New anti-Semitic drama alert in 15 minutes. Retweet if you're a Nazi."
Lord.
And then yeah, Ethan kind of just goes on to say, "Yeah, how upset do you think Keemstar actually is that people don't like Ben Shapiro or are being anti-Semitic to Ben Shapiro?"
Hmm.
Um,
I mean, I don't like Ben Shapiro, but it has nothing to do with the fact that he's a Jewish person. It's just he's
oh no, he's just
kind of
got
an
bad taste.
ass.
He also wants to like breed his sister.
Yeah, and he fucking talks about vor, and it seems like he misquotes a lot of stuff from the Hebrew Bible.
Oh yeah, didn't you say like vor is good?
I mean, maybe we might be thinking of the Dubus Goobus animation for that.
Right, yeah.
That's possible.
But I think the point is that he'll say some outlandish shit.
Yes, and then claim it as fact, but and when he's like checked on that, he gets like kind of butthurt.
Well, but he'll say like it's part of his like religion to have some like outlandish take or have some like outlandish kink because like Ben Shapiro has been kind of like laying hints for what his weird kinks are for years.
Uh,
Um he's also like part of the Daily Wire, which is like where John Peters, what's his name? It's like his last name is Peterson.
Jacob
Jordan
Pierce,
Peterson
Jordan.
Oh yeah.
is like constantly like crying about shit. Um and who mama? That's kind of kind of whack, yo.
Kind of crazy whack, yo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cuz yeah, Jordan Peterson recently has been crying about how white men are actually the real marginalized group of
Oh
people.
lord.
He literally cries.
Hmm.
Oh
Like
my
tears
god.
running down his face level cries. Cuz that's who Jordan Peterson is. He cries about every like opinion he has. And it's not even a case of like, oh, men showing their feelings. It's This man is crying over white men being quote unquote marginalized. And I think he was saying some transphobic shit while he was saying white men are marginalized while he's crying. Because I think he thinks more people will empathize with him if he cries.
Probably.
But yeah, I've got really nothing else to talk about, and everything else that we might find is just going to be random shit that we could maybe save for next week. So,
Yeah, I say save it for next week.
yeah, we've already been going 2.5 hours, so I think that's where we'll wrap it up for this episode.
Yep.
That's sad to me.
Thank you guys so much for listening to what may be an incoherent episode of Vi's podcast. Hopefully, we'll have more coherent things to talk about next week. But I really enjoy making these podcasts, so as long as we can stay consistent with it, we'll keep doing them.
Hell yeah.
Thank you guys, everybody, for listening to our opinions, no matter how shitty they may have been. And we'll see you next week.
See
Bye.
Bye.